What is going on here? Oh my goodness. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So it's a little depressing even though it's beautiful out. The reason why it is depressing because my FD is still not done, and I see a lot of people outside with their nice weekend cars and everything like that. So I did pull the Talon outside because I took that for a spin, and the FD is outside getting a little bit of sunlight. Now that car is getting close to primer, so I want to make sure I get these airlines situated. What I mean by airlines, the airlines in my off my compressor, because I started to build a lot of moisture inside the airlines, and I want to make sure I get those taken care of. So this is a new GoPro 12 that I just picked up, and hopefully the quality and the images are a lot better. So anyway, I pulled a lot of stuff out of the garage, as you can see, just to make a little bit more room in here, and it's still messy. I got all this stuff I got to clean up because I'm still working with all this stuff. The Eclipse is away right now. It's getting wrapped, and stay tuned for the new wrap that we're going to be getting. It's going to look pretty sick. So I wanted to show you guys exactly what I was talking about. This was my DA that I was using sanding down the car, and if you look in this filter, see if the camera can pick it up. See that moisture? We were getting a lot of moisture through these lines, and they were actually coming out of the fittings. That's how much was coming out. So I've never messed with my compressor. I've never went back there and drained it. I started reading a lot of stuff because you never know. I mean, I'm not somebody that does this every day. So until you start getting involved with this stuff, you're not going to learn. So anyway, I've read that you're supposed to release some fluid from the compressor every day after every use. So I haven't been doing that. I've been living in this house for 8 years. The compressor that's in there was used by the previous owner when he worked on his Jaguar projects and his Ferrari and all that other stuff. I wanted to put a killer air system in here because, like I said, I want this garage to be legit and functional, that I can do a lot of projects without any hiccups. So I wanted to make sure I get this air situated from the compressor. So this is the air system that I chose to go with. This RapidAir system that actually cools the air when it's going through the pipes, and you have release valves. If any moisture builds up in the pipes, you can just release it with the valves. So let me just show you guys what I got. So this is the RapidAir kit here. You can see that these long blue pipes, these are pipes that you can make the manifold out of these loops, and when hot air travels through here, it actually cools down, and you have the valves on the bottom where the water drops down in these corners, and this is where you can release the moisture buildup. So we have the pipes there, and then we have a flex line. This is going to go from the compressor to the actual loop compartment. You want to have something flexible so when that compressor is vibrating, it's not vibrating the whole system. I'm not sure if I'm going to need something a little longer. Once I put everything together, I'll be able to tell a little bit because of the area that I'm going to put it in. It all depends on which wall I put it in my compressor room back there, and I'll show you guys in a moment. So anyway, so they come with these release valves here. This is the ones I was telling you that's on the bottom. We have 4 of them. This comes with a tool that when you cut these pipes, you can clean it out with this tool. Now you do have to cut these pipes. They come with 4 of these pipes, and each pipe has to have a 8-inch piece cut off of each of them, because these are up on the top here. So you have to cut those for these pieces. Now you have these 90-degree elbows that you see here. These are the connectors, quick connect, that you pop it in there and you tighten it down with the wrenches that you have that's supplied with you. That's in the kit. So then you have these T's. Then you have these T's with the quick connects, and these are the connectors for the valves over here. So you can connect it to the valves here like that. So we have those. And that's basically it. This doesn't come with the kit. I'm going to be adding this because I do want a separate line for when I use my tools versus the paint hose. And this is the one that they had supplied with the kit. I just want to make sure, I just want to make it easy as possible. So I did buy this. I don't know if I'm going to use this or this. I just bought a few of them. Now we do have the connectors that holds the actual pipes to the wall. So these little hole here that snaps around the pole, and then you have the screws from the inside that you're going to screw this to the wall. And once you screw it to the wall, you open these up and the pipes go clamped in here, and it holds everything in place. Merlin system inside the garage in the corner over here, along with this motor guard, is going to be the last resort. These are really good. All I've heard was good things, and a lot of painters that have been painting over 30-40 years, they said this motor guard with this toilet paper roll. Let me just show you guys. So this is all this is the filter that's in the motor guards. It basically looks like a roll of toilet paper, even though this is a filter. So a lot of people say they do use toilet paper instead of the filter. But then I heard little things of how pieces of the toilet paper ends up trashing some of the paints. This is a good filter to have. So I'm going to use this for the last defense before it hits my gun. So one more thing that I'm going to put in the compressor. This is a kit. It's an extension air kit that I'm going to put on the bottom of the compressor. This is basically what you're supposed to use. There's a valve underneath the compressor, but when I show you guys what I'm talking about once we go out there, I don't want to put my hand underneath there since we do have snakes around this area. And I'll show you a picture of something that scared the hell out of me in my first gen. So this is a picture of when I popped the hood to jump start the car to pull all the cars back in the garage. And I saw this thing, and I'm telling you, I wish my Ring and all my camera systems caught it, but they didn't at the time because the power was off in the garage. I ended up jumping so high and I landed on my elbow. I thought I broke my arm because I cannot stand snakes. Snakes scared the hell out of me. And that thing was around where the battery was. And right when I lifted, I'm telling you, my soul left my body, man. And y'all can say it's a little gardener, but that snake was big as hell. So anyway, and let me show you a funny story. Let me show you something else. That snake kept going in and out of my engine bay. Every day I tried to grab it with my grabbers, my snake grabbers, and I could not get that snake out of here. So I got a good idea from a coworker of mine. That if you go into here, funny thing is, I still have this smoke stick in here. That's the only way I got that snake out of my engine bay. I lit a couple of those sticks up and I tried to get it on camera, but that thing just took off and got out of the engine bay. I would have never found it. That snake would have been living in this garage. So anyway, that's the funny thing on this car here. So let me get outside and show you guys what the compressor looks like. All right, so this is the part of the video where I'm going to be putting a extension drain underneath the tank. If you're like me in the wilderness and you don't want to reach underneath the tank, fluid and moisture come out, you're going to want to do this. This is a $13 kit that I found on Amazon, and all we have to do is release that valve underneath there, take it out, replace it with this, so you don't have to reach your hand underneath here anymore. So so this is the valve that was underneath. It's a 1/4 inch little valve. Like I said, I don't want to put my hand underneath there all the time, and I would have to actually twist this bolt underneath, and it has a little nipple hole in the middle, so that's what would drain it. You saw how much water came out of that thing. I mean, you could have filled up a pool with how much water came out of that tank, and it's never been empty since I bought the house. And like I said, I'm learning as I go about all the stuff that I have to do and use and stuff like that. So that was a lot of water. So I had to get out of here with my cardboard so it didn't get soaked. And now that everything's properly drained, I'm going to install the extension kit, and I won't have to reach underneath there anymore. I'm gonna have the valve up here and like zip tie it to like this leg so I can just release it somehow. So. All right, so everything's all lined up. Pretty much this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna have these T-fittings like this, each of them with a valve at the end, except for this one, because that's a 90°. And this last one's gonna be here. I'm just gonna run the 1/2 inch hose that I've already ordered. It should be here by tomorrow. This is gonna run and loop down underneath this whole thing, and it's gonna come through the wall where this orange hose is connected. So I didn't explain these quick connects if nobody ever used these before. This is the first time you're using it. These little knobs over here, you just basically loosen this up, not to the point where it's coming off, just to loosen it up. Once you push this all the way in, you'll feel it sit against the back, and then you righty-tighty tighten this up. And basically that's in there. So that's how you connect these. Once I get it actually on the wall and mounted, then I'm gonna tighten these down with the wrench. But for right now, I'm just gonna hand tighten it where they're all together and they're not going anywhere. So I'm just gonna go outside and bring the loop outside so I can mark everything up and get these screws tapped in so I can just mount these little mounts and then bring the loop and connect everything. right, so everything's done. I'm using my new camera with the spotlight on top, the new GoPro. This makes it easy, so in situations like this where I don't have a light in this room, I can make a little bit better videos and you can see everything that's going on versus being in the dark like this. So this is a cool feature. It comes with a light on top, and there's different grades of light that I can use, and this is a really high beam, and this makes it a little bit easier to see everything. Now that I have this extension on the bottom, I don't have to reach on the bottom and loosen up that screw. This is just an extension with a valve on there, so I can just turn this little valve. You can see how the liquid, and that'll dry and drain the tank itself. The compressor goes through here. It goes through, I have it going through this black hose here, and then it goes right into the first tee. It's traveling up this loop, and it's cooling the air as it's traveling up, but the condensation, if there's any fluid, it would be dropped in this chamber. So I would first basically release pressure in there, and I think you need to wear earplugs when you do that because my ears are ringing. So anyway, I would loosen the valve in the first one, make sure there's nothing I dropped in there. Then I would do it to the second one, crack that one, go all the way down to the third one, crack that one. And this yellow hose, this is the hose that's going directly to my filters inside the garage. So the point of this is to cool the air down that's coming out of the compressor because it's naturally making heat. But this cools down the air, and all the condensation buildup drops down into these little valves, and I can just release it there. So from here it goes right inside, and we're gonna cut to inside what I did in the inside. All right, so I gotta make this look a little better, but it's functional right now. This is actually the hose that's coming off that cooling loop, and it goes right around here to my motor guard, which comes highly recommended from a lot of people that's been painting for 30-40 years. They said this motor guard filter is a beast, and it catches a lot of stuff. So right after this, you barely see anything. So right after this motor guard, I have it going into my double Merlin filter that I got from Harbor Freight. You can see how they have the beads in there. Let me see if I can turn on the light. Yep, see, this light works perfect. So you can see how the beads in there, they're blue. When they start getting moist and condensation in there, they'll turn like a pinkish red. And then right from there, it goes right to my regulator. And then I built this little manifold where I can actually run different airlines off this. So one will be connected to my hose reel. Still waiting on that 2-foot hose. They go off this reel right into the manifold here, and then I'm gonna have a separate one for the paint hose, which is this one down here, and then this one is just a spare one just in case something happens. I did a little test runs on it already, and nothing is coming out. There's no moisture at all. This filter system seems to be working perfect, and it's just in time for me to actually start priming, because I didn't want to prime until I was completely sure that I didn't have any type of vapors or water vapors inside my airline. So I was getting the talon ready to take it to the track Friday, and I had the slicks. I took the slicks down, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna run this on street tires. And it turns out the track had a private event, so I didn't go. So another week down the drain. So I am gonna be hitting the track up this Friday to see what my car does. Not sure if I'm gonna put the slicks on it, which are in that corner underneath the tarp, or just run it with the street tires just to see, you know, how everything goes and everything like that. And let's tighten the shop dog. Yeah, so everything's together. I'm excited to get this car finally into primer so I can just block that bad boy down and get this car painted. If you like what's going on, hit that thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any type of questions about this air system that I put together. I'm going to be putting most of the things that I'm using for this system in the links below, and try to price this thing out as best as I can so I can give you guys a good idea of how much this system would cost if you're doing it in your home garage. Like I said, I wanted to have a professional type of grade filtration system, because I'm going to be doing projects like my dream car, the FD, which is one of my dream cars, and I want to have a really good paint job, and I don't want to have, I know it's not going to be perfect, but I don't want to have any mishaps just because of the material stuff that I'm using. I want everything to be, I want the conditions to be as good as possible, and yeah, and just send it. I'm gonna have some friends help me mix and talk me through it, but I'm gonna be doing the majority like I've been doing for this project myself. So that's what this channel is about. It's about learning through the trials and tribulations and everything like that, because I need to learn how to paint, because I'm gonna be working on the 1G soon, the Turbo 2 soon, the Talon, I want to paint the Talon, and I also got a big project going on over here, so we'll talk about that another time. So anyway, thanks for watching another one, and always love. Peace.